What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and some interesting developments going on, not just in the YouTube comment section, but across Facebook and other areas, with a particular phrase that appears to be getting deleted en masse. Very, very interesting bending of the knee from YouTube's platform that I'm going to demand some sort of comment from Team YouTube. So we'll be tagging them in the title of this video and in the tweet, and hopefully people will share it. My guess is at least there is a reasonable chance that this is getting filtered out as spam, but there's also a very reasonable chance that they have bent the knee to Winnie the Pooh and are deciding to protect them. Now, this comes via The Verge. I also retweeted somebody exposing this last night, Taylor Lorenz. YouTube is deleting comments with two phrases that insult China's Communist Party. Now, this coming from The Verge, a rare good reporting, I suppose you could say. These Chinese language phrases are removed within seconds. YouTube is automatically deleting comments that contain certain Chinese phrases related to criticism of the ruling country's Communist Party. Comments left under videos or in live streams that contain the words, and this is in Chinese, Communist Bandit or 50-cent party, are automatically deleted in around 15 seconds, though their English translations and Romanized pinyin equivalents are not. The term whatever, which is an insult that dates back, I'm assuming that's Communist Bandit, is an insult that dates back to China's nationalist government, while Wu Mao, a derogatory slang term for internet users paid to direct online discussion away from criticism, so propagandists. The name comes from the claims that there are such commenters are paid 50 Chinese cents per post. Now, we have absolutely, unequivocally seen examples of people bending the knee to China. We've seen the NBA do it here in the United States with sanctioning a general manager who spoke out in support of Hong Kong. We saw Blizzard Entertainment do it when a Hearthstone player, Blitz Chung, spoke out in support of Hong Kong's independence. We most recently saw Steam quietly roll out a brand new censorious platform that is exclusive to China and has all sorts of crazy restrictions in it, for everything from blocking its users' ability to play the game during certain hours, blocking usernames, blocking comments, blocking the community comment section, and a whole host of other censorious behaviors that Steam is happy to get down on their knees and accept Chinese money all over their face and down their throats to get. Now, this, of course, continues. It's not clear why these phrases are being deleted, but it seems they've been added to comment filters meant to automatically remove spam or offensive texts. This is suggested by the fact that the comments are removed so quickly. Human moderation would take much longer, and that they are removed even if the banned phrases are used positively. Blank, the phrase are doing a fantastic job. Making the matter more puzzling is YouTube is currently blocked in China, giving its parent company Google even less reason to censor comments critical of the CCP or apply moderation systems in accordance with the Chinese government and censorship laws. We've reached out to Google for comment and will update on this story when we hear more. Now, interestingly enough, big tech seems so willing to impose the censorious demands of other nations here in the West in exchange for just the chance of getting some big Chinese investment money. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Google takes Chinese money in some way, shape, or form, or if YouTube itself or some sort of, watchdog organization has been informed of this money, or of this, both, of this new system. Now, this is why you need to share this out, because I don't think, first of all, that phrase is I think you could hardly consider it offensive. On top of that, as an American, I want to be able to criticize the Chinese government. I want to be able to criticize propaganda. And when you have this built into a system that automatically deletes it, it makes me wonder if YouTube itself has something to do with it or has some skin in the game. The automatic deletion of these phrases was highlighted on Tuesday by U.S. technologist and former Oculus founder Palmer Luckey on Twitter. But earlier reports of the issue date back to the middle of May when they were spotted by human rights activist Jennifer Zheng. The Verge also found complaints on YouTube's official help pages, noting such comments were deleted back to October 2019. So they've been doing this for years. Google has frequently been criticized for accommodating the wishes of the CCP by censoring content. Most notably, it created a prototype search engine known as Project Dragonfly, which complies with Chinese state censorship. The project, which was never deployed, is part of the company's long-running struggles to enter the Chinese market. Now, again, I've talked about this before in that the question is, do I necessarily have a problem with a company developing a secondary platform or product in order to make money in China? Capitalism is going to do what capitalism does, and that additional money that these companies bring in gives more Americans, more people in the West jobs, gives us access to better technology and a wide variety of things. Overall, they're probably a good thing. The problems come in is when you have all sorts of strings attached. The problems come in when maybe Google goes out of their way to censor these terms here in the West, in the United States, for example, where we have actual freedom of speech, unlike some other countries in the West, that our users now have to live under their rules. We have to live under their sanctions, which is 100% unacceptable. It's like when Blizzard, for example, wants to roll out a game like World of Warcraft, but they remove the skeletons. Or when it was Rainbow Six, removing slot machines from video games. Again, if you want to do it in the Chinese market, you're the one that's got to sleep at night. You're the one that's got to deal with that. And overall, I think I'm okay with it. But when you impose these rules on people here in the West, I am 100% not okay with it. And when you're Google and you're doing it anyway, I'm flabbergasted why more people aren't pushing back against this. Now, when news of Dragonfly leaked back in 2018 in a report from The Intercept, Google was criticized by politicians and its own employees for selling out its principles. During a Senate Judiciary Committee hearing back in 2019, the company said it had terminated the project and that it had no plans to launch search in China. I don't believe you. I believe that Google is still planning to launch search there, which again, in general, is fine. But if you remember when Blizzard sold out their values here in the West to sanction a player's use of free speech, that whole thing was hilarious to me because their CEO, J. Allen Brack, came on stage and said that you can't make any political statements while also wearing a gay pride pin. So it was absolutely hilariously obvious to anyone who was watching that Google sanctioned this player to appease their Chinese overlords. I'm sorry, Blizzard did. And that's exactly what I'm wondering if you're going to start to see with Google more and more, and how much of that has actually been happening that we don't know about. And you can see back in Google's planning to launch a censored version of its search engine in China that will blacklist websites and search terms about human rights, democracy, religion, and peaceful protest. This is a company in the West that made its billions from Western people who support Western values, who are willing to sell all them out for just a few additional dollars. Well, I wonder, honestly, if all of a sudden this video is going to be suppressed. I'd be surprised if it sent out notifications. I'd be surprised if people could easily find it in search, which is why I always ask that people continue to share these videos and that people follow me on alternate platforms. Look, you can follow me on Twitter at The Quartering. I know it's Twitter, but it still works. You can follow me on Minds.com at Minds. You can follow me on BitChute. You can follow me on Library. You can follow me soon on Instagram and TikTok soon. And interestingly enough, TikTok, a Chinese platform. You've got to be there, and you've got to continue to do what you can to spread the word, and you rely on your audience like I do to do that. I mean, companies will continue to want to bend the knee to get access to the absolute ocean of money that is available to people with the Chinese market. And again, from a principle standpoint, I don't necessarily have a huge problem with it. And you see some of these comments. YouTube is a private company. They have every right to decide what kind of comments are allowed on their platform. This is why I don't respect The Verge. You're joking, right? You see, here's a moderator. I thoroughly agree. This is why Google should be divorced from YouTube and other competitors, should be given a head start to their competitor and be given a head start to a competitor. As this makes no sense, I'm sure YouTube will still enact these changes, and just decoding Google from YouTube won't instantly spur your competition. Needs to do more than that. And then we see a comment, disappointing that the reply is not all just mentions of this term. It's interesting to me just how willing people are to lick the boot when it's talking a little bit a little extra money. Continue to fight for your rights. Continue to share videos exposing this, and hopefully we can apply enough pressure to YouTube to give us an answer, because the phrase itself I don't think would fit into any reasonable reason to be auto filtered. So I would expect YouTube to remove this filter immediately in the West here, because I can't see any reasonable reason to remove it. I await your response, Team YouTube. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.